Whatever you do, don't piss me off. My name is Mike Vini. I'm a mental health speaker, author, blogger, drummer, and today I'm going to talk to you about anger management because I have struggled with anger management issues for my entire life. I mean, it started in fourth grade. I remember that I was in Catholic school and I was sitting in the back of the classroom, and the nun, her name was Sister Pat, she told me to wipe the smile off my face because apparently that's a problem. And I said the thing you should not say to your fourth grade teacher. I said, no. And she started yelling at me, and I said some things back to her that you should not say to your teacher. And she then tried to pull my arm and grab me out of my desk, and I tried to punch that woman as hard as I could. And that's when we knew that I had some real anger management problems. This actually led to me getting expelled from 3 schools, a lot of outbursts. And I'm an adult now, and guess what? I still struggle with anger. And I don't punch people anymore. Sometimes I do say mean things. Sometimes I send a mean text or two here or there. But for the most part, I'm actually really contained. And actually, sometimes nowadays, the worst part of my anger is that I don't let it out and I bottle it up inside, and that's not good either. So I want to talk to you about some things that I learned about anger management. If you watch this video until the end, you're going to learn 3 very unique things from someone who has struggled since childhood and has learned to sort of manage it. So I'm going to give you that. Also, if you are new to my channel, please hit subscribe. We'd love to have you as a subscriber each week. I've got videos coming out where we talk about different things, we keep it real, and I promise you there's always good stuff in these videos. That being said, let's go to me and anger. So the 3 things that I learned. Number 1, I used to look at anger management books, go to anger management blogs, watch videos on different tactics and techniques, breathing, pausing, all that stuff. None of that stuff worked for me. I'm sorry, it might work for someone else, it didn't work for me. However, when I learned through therapy that anger sometimes, especially for men, is depression in disguise, that changed my life forever. Because it didn't make sense to me at first. Like, how could I be sad but angry at the same time? Well, a lot of times with men, when it comes to sadness, we don't recognize it as sadness, and it can become very confusing and frustrating, but will manifest ultimately as anger. So once I realized that, I started to look at my depression and sadness and learn to sit with my feelings and talk about them. And that has really helped me with my anger more than anything, is recognizing that it's depression in disguise. So number 1, understand that a lot of times when it comes to anger, it's depression in disguise. Number 2, I actually learned in the past year, this is a brand new thing for me, that anger sometimes is actually in our physical body, meaning something that I have resentment towards or a person that I have resentment towards, I could be holding that resentment in my lower back or in my shoulders. And that being said, it's important to recognize that. So knowing that when I'm angry, I have to figure out where it's coming from. Sometimes I locate it in my chest, sometimes it's in my stomach, and figure a way to process it in the body. And one of the ways that I do that, this is the first time I'm going to show this on video, is yoga. I'm actually traveling right now. I'm in Chicago in a hotel, and I've got my little travel yoga mat right here. I put this in my carry-on suitcase, tiny little thing, and I do yoga. And the type I do is called restorative yoga and yin yoga, where you actually, I call it the lazy yoga because you just get to sit on the floor and hold a posture for 1 to 5 minutes. And the idea behind holding those postures is that it allows me to sit with, number 1, my body, where there is tension, where there is pain, where there is anger, and allow me to sit there and process it. And interestingly, when you do the style of yoga, last week I was doing it, I actually started crying at the end. I just started crying uncontrollably. So it's a great thing for me to let out emotions. And if you think about it, anger and tension kind of go hand in hand. So really important to understand that anger is also in the body, and it's important to do things like yoga, and they also have emotional release body work to help you release that anger. So again, number 1, anger can be depression in disguise. Number 2, anger is in the body. Number 3, this is my favorite. Anger is not necessarily a bad thing. Anger, when you process it, can become leadership, decisiveness, competitiveness, and passion. But we don't think of it like that. We see anger as this bad thing that we want to suppress. But when you suppress it, I personally believe it turns into an Incredible Hulk situation where the story of the Incredible Hulk, for those of you that don't know, is Dr. Bruce Banner is a mild-mannered physicist who, when he becomes triggered and has stuff bottle up, he turns into this green monster that's not really good, not really evil, but I'm going a little too far into the Hulk. He's a Marvel comic superhero. Check him out to learn more. But for me, it's really important to know that anger is not necessarily a bad thing. So when I'm angry nowadays, I'm not looking at it as something that needs to go away. I look at it as something that needs to be processed. And again, when I process it, that thing that I was angry at, or that pain that I was feeling, or that person I wanted to punch, I don't do that, but I turn that into passion. I turn that into competitiveness. And the beautiful thing is, those are good things in this world that can lead to wonderful things in your life if you look at it that way. So again, to summarize, number one, anger can be depression in disguise. Check that out, look into it, and explore that with a mental health professional. Number two, anger can be in the body physically. You can feel it in the body. And number three, anger, when redirected, can be a beautiful asset. So very important. So again, my name is Mike Feeney. If you liked this video, please click like. If you didn't like it, you can click the thumbs down. That's fine too. Please leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts on anger management. And personally, I'm actually going to be looking at these comments because I still struggle with anger, and I'd love to hear what you have to say. You might teach me something, and I try to respond to every comment. So click a comment below. And again, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Thank you. I'm out, and think about what I said. Take care.